Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Gusty winds create a dangerous situation in Refugio County. And local groups adjust their operations as conditions change. The extra steps being taken to help those in need. Plus, massive security preparations underway for tonight's celebrations. The unprecedented measures being taken nationwide.
And for the final morning of 2025, we are starting out the day at near or below freezing for much of the area. But for New Year's Eve, fire danger is still high and drought conditions have worsened. We'll look at your fireworks safety conditions coming up.
And Goliad boys basketball battled Victoria West last night in the Mike Smith Classic. See how they did later on in sport.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads. Welcome to your New Year's Eve morning. And we've been warning you about all the fire danger potential for tonight. And we also want to remind you all about the drunk driving dangers.
That was another one.
Don't get behind the wheel if you're drinking tonight.
Definitely. Make sure to maybe kind of leave the party maybe a little bit earlier to try and avoid all the drunk drivers on the road, because that's usually like late, like 2 in the morning time. But also in the morning time, usually it's a little bit chilly out there. This time we are very chilly. Looking at a beautiful sunrise over Victoria this morning, but needless to say out there, it is quite cold. We are below freezing, y'all, in Victoria County, 31 degrees out there right now. In the city, temperatures are running about 1 to 2 degrees warmer than that, actually. You can see that right here, 33 degrees being reported right outside the station, right here on our 25 News Now ticker. But 27 is our dew point, bringing us a humidity 85%. That will be plummeting this afternoon once again, bringing us fire danger. We'll look at that later, because I want to let y'all know Victoria County, out in county, not city limits. If you live out in county, I hope y'all have wrapped your pipes, because it's actually been below freezing since 1:30 in the morning. So we're looking at now 5 hours below freezing for much of the county. But everyone else along the alert day criteria that I had listed yesterday, I also hope you've wrapped your pipes, because you can see y'all below freezing, 28 degrees right now in Bay City. Goodness, y'all please bundle up, and definitely bundle up, because winds are pretty light to calm out there, but when it blows, wind chills are in the mid 20s. But it will warm up today with that sun coming out, and we'll look at all that next.
Crews battled a large brush fire in Refugio County Tuesday. The fire ignited on the Aransas Wildlife Refuge Backgate Road at around 7:15 in the morning. 14 agencies and more than 70 personnel worked together to clear the scene by 4:45 in the afternoon. The fire burned 163 acres and required 36,000 gallons of water to extinguish. Crews determined a downed power line, likely blown down by gusty winds, caused the fire. As cold temperatures arrive, local organizations that serve community members experiencing homelessness adjust their hours to help keep people safe and warm. The Salvation Army of Victoria accepts blankets, comforters, and supplies to keep the most vulnerable community members safe from the cold temperatures. Director of Social Services Rick Villa says the nonprofit's main focus is serving the community in any way possible.
Most definitely, it is important for the Salvation Army, because we're here for a mission, and that is to serve the community. And we know those that are struggling, that are living out there on the street. Many of them are homeless. They don't have a place to go to.
Captain Kenny Jones of the Salvation Army says they have an overflow crowd at their shelter for anyone needing shelter. Mid-Coast Family Services Resource Hub opens at 7 this morning and will stay open throughout the day. U.S. forces killed 7 ISIS members and captured more in Syria on Tuesday. The operations are a result of 11 missions between December 20th and 29th. The captures follow the December 19th strikes that hit 70 targets in Syria. The strikes are retaliatory after 2 U.S. service members and 1 civilian interpreter were killed in the Middle Eastern nation on December 13th. Now to the final preparations ahead of New Year's celebrations coast to coast. ABC's Lionel Moyes shares the top concerns this New Year's Eve.
This morning, as we prepare to count down to 2026,
3, 2, 1.
Law enforcement is preparing to use artificial intelligence to enhance security in Times Square, where more than 1 million people are expected to gather for the ball drop.
They've enhanced both using video and AI surveillance of the Times Square area to know what's going on, to have real-time intelligence determining where people are, who's coming through the crowds. If anything happens, they're immediately able to zoom in on it and they're able to send in police, FBI, SWAT teams, emergency medical services.
Police can use that information to deploy help in a medical situation or if there's a security threat.
There is AI that can determine if somebody's acting aggressively, if somebody pulls a weapon. Some of the technology now can zero in on that weapon and determine, is it a knife, is it a handgun, is it a long gun?
And new in Times Square this year, secondary screening.
So we will have mobile screening teams walking around the pens, and if we see anything that looks suspicious, we will have teams in place to do appropriate screening.
Meanwhile, in New Orleans, after last year's attack on New Year's morning that killed 14 people, National Guard troops will now be patrolling the French Quarter.
Still feel a lot safer having them here.
In Atlanta, officials have scrapped the city's peach drop and will instead spread the crowd out with a massive drone show. Across many parts of the country, weather could be an issue. In the upper Midwest and Northeast, high winds and feet of lake effect snow. In Franklin County, Georgia, winds blowing this small plane off a runway. And in Southern California, winds hampering search efforts on Mount Baldy, where 3 hikers were found dead. Back in the Northeast, a plea for help after recent snow caused the roof of this New Jersey animal shelter to collapse, leaving 30 dogs displaced.
The sheer amount of dogs that need to be fostered, we don't have that kind of supplies on hand.
Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Investigators found a body while searching for a missing teen. Officials are working to confirm whether the remains belong to 19-year-old Camila Olmos. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says the medical examiner has not yet determined the identity of the remains or the cause of death. Law enforcement and volunteers maintain daily searches across an 8-mile area surrounding her San Antonio home since she disappeared. The Texas A&M Board of Regents approving another 2-year freeze on tuition and academic fees through 2027. The freeze applies to Texas resident undergraduate students at every Texas A&M system university. That includes Texas A&M Victoria. The tuition at Texas A&M has not risen since 2021 and remains the same for this and the next school year. A&M officials say the move saves families money and gives students certainty as they plan for college. For more local news, weather, and sports, come to crossroadstoday.com. It's now 6:37 on our Wednesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. Local officials provide a safe alternative for New Year's Eve festivities where you can celebrate without worry.
A sweeping investigation into alleged fraud involving social services in Minnesota. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the latest on the investigation and how the White House is responding this morning.
And also coming up next after the break and the short-term forecast, you heard me talking about our humidity plummeting this afternoon down as low as 10 to 25%. So coming up next, we'll take a look at that fire danger and that fireworks safety. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy New Year's Eve, Weather Wednesday. For your Wednesday, the final day of 2025, you heard me talking about it earlier. I have to issue another alert day for today, y'all. It's going to be for this afternoon for all 13 Crossroads counties, to which what y'all can expect is that very dry humidity, what I was talking about, 10 to 25%. That would be 5% less than yesterday's humidity. Yesterday it got down to 15 and 25%, but today I'm looking for 10% in some areas, which you'll see in a second. But we're also looking for extreme drought conditions, which have been upgraded recently, and you'll also see that here in a second on that map. But for the humidity map, you can see exactly what I was talking about. 10 to 25% all around the Crossroads, minus the coastline, because you're going to be right next to the Gulf water, keeping you a little bit more humid. But as we go into the new year, for tomorrow, Thursday, look at this, y'all. The winds are going to be returning out of the south, and that will return our humidity to a much more moderate 30 to 50%, which would mostly get rid of our fire danger in terms of fire weather. Not nice weather, but fire weather. We're taking a look at your drought monitor. You can see what we were talking about, that extreme drought, level 4 out of 5 now, which has been updated a few days ago for most of our northwestern counties, but we also have a level 3 out of 5 severe drought for the rest of us. And we also have burn bans in effect for about half of our Crossroads counties out there. So if you're going to be burning any kind of fireworks or doing any kind of firework, any fire out there, I'd advise against it. Just go to the public shows and also enjoy the warm weather that's coming our way. We'll look at all that next.
Last night, we officially ended the Mike Smith Classic at Victoria West High School, and we had two Crossroads teams ending the tournament in Victoria West and Goliad. Both these teams are looking to build momentum heading into district play. Going in January, Victoria West would end up winning 59-50 over Goliad, with the leading scorer Matthew Cantine having 23 points for the victory. Now, for Goliad, they played all these games without their star player in Grant Winham, but were very competitive in all their tough losses that they had in this tournament against 5A and 6A teams, including with their top scorer Logan Youngblood leading the way in scoring for most of the games that they played in this tournament. But even with these multiple losses, like I mentioned, not having their star player, head coach Patrick Sanchez and Winham, that was there again not playing for this team at this moment, still believe this team can grow and make it better down the road.
Prepare ourselves for district by playing some tougher teams, and I know the Mike Smith Classic got us we played 4 5A teams as a 3A school. We knew coming in it'd be hard to win a game or two, but we had high expectations, but really it was for the experience of getting tougher and faster.
Them playing these bigger schools with bigger bodies, it's just learning how to handle that pressure, and that full court defense is something that they're just not quite used to, but I think these tournaments and playing these bigger schools has really helped us out, and it'll help us down the stretch.
Now, the boys basketball team won't begin district play until January 16th, so they'll have a little bit of time, but they get to travel to Calhoun for a non-district clash Friday afternoon. That'll be at 1:30 p.m. there on Friday. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. Now to an investigation into fraud allegations in Minnesota. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington as Health and Human Services tightens funding requirements.
This morning, a growing investigation into what's been described as rampant fraud involving taxpayer money that was supposed to be spent on social services in Minnesota. This sweeping investigation targets dozens of suspected fraudulent businesses accused of misusing public money intended to support everything from school lunches to childcare to housing assistance. It comes after an unverified video posted online from conservative influencer Nick Shirley went viral, supposedly exposing fraud at daycares across Minnesota. This video shows Shirley visiting multiple daycare centers, which he claims got public funds, despite appearing not to have any children present when he visited. While officials have disputed the allegations, others say the matter needs to be taken seriously.
I think we have questions around when were these visits. For instance, were they during times that the center was scheduled to be open? Was it during the weekend?
Now, the Deputy Health and Human Services Secretary says their agency is tightening requirements for payments from the Administration for Children and Families to all states, requiring a justification and a receipt or photo evidence.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children.
And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz pushed back on social media, saying the president is politicizing the issue to defund programs that help families in Minnesota. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
If you're planning to celebrate the new year with fireworks, Victoria County has a safe place for you to do it. Patriot Park opens to the public from 5 p.m. to midnight tonight. County officials say safety is a top priority. The fire marshal's office stations vehicles and volunteer fire teams will be on scene. The county will also provide bags to dispose of used fireworks. Patriot Park is located at 2700 Fordyce Road. And if you're looking to stay within city limits tonight, the City of Victoria is hosting a free fireworks show at Riverside Park. Entertainment and family fun starts at 6, with fireworks starting at 9. Parking on the grass is not allowed except in designated overflow parking areas. The stands at Riverside Stadium will be open for seating. If you see news happening, let us know. Call the number on your screen to contact our newsroom or email us your tips at staff@crossroadstoday.com. The time is now 6:46 on our Wednesday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, from heartbreak to hope, 2025 brought it all to the Crossroads, the top stories that shaped our year. Okay, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Dylan. Happy birthday to my firstborn. Mama loves you so much.
Oh, happy birthday, Dylan. And also happy birthday to Enietta. happy 3rd birthday, Inietta. Mommy and Daddy love you and hope all your wishes come true.
Happy birthday to our birthday cake winner, Romy. Romy, you have 24 hours to pick up your birthday cake from Sweet Fountains Bakery. And Romy, you're a big blessing in your family's lives. Have a wonderful birthday and hope all your wishes come true. That's from Mom, Grandma, uncles, aunts, and cousins.
Happy birthday, Romy, and congratulations. And also happy birthday to Mary. Happy birthday, honey. And that's from Mom and Nana. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today. We'll be right back.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. Once again, happy early new year to y'all. If you're going to be heading out the door for any kind of fireworks this afternoon or evening, just please stay safe. Obviously, I, Parker Cox, cannot stop you from lighting fireworks. This is America. This is Texas. Y'all do what you want, but if you're going to be lighting them in city limits, I want to let y'all know you're looking at probably a $500 fine and some misdemeanor charges if you get caught. Now, if you're going to be doing any of that, again, I can't stop you, but if you are going to be doing that, please practice these fire safety tips because of our drought conditions and how dry it is outside. I don't want to sound like a buzzkill. I'm just trying to keep y'all safe. So don't light fireworks near dry grass or dead vegetation, obviously. Keep vehicles off of dry grass. Something you may not have noticed is that the metal underneath your car gets very, very hot. We're talking like 200 to 400 degrees at time. Maybe not 400, but 300, and that's enough to light dry grass and shrubbery. Fully extinguish any fireworks that you light out there and your cigarettes before you dispose them. Something you may also not know, cigarette ashes can light fires. Please keep us safe. Keep water and extinguisher nearby as well, and also remove any excess metal or plastic that might be dragging underneath your vehicle, because that can also start a spark and that will float into the grass and create another fire. Now, if you'll be heading out the door for fireworks, 9 p.m. we're looking at low 50s, but by midnight, low and mid 50s. By midnight, though, we're looking at upper 40s and about 50 degrees, so stay warm then. And you'll see before that, high of 68 today in Victoria, and everyone else looking about the same. So enjoy that before we're warming up into the new year. And we'll look at that next.
As 2025 ends tonight, we take a look back at the top stories in the Crossroads. 25 News Now, Trenton Whiting presents the year's biggest moments.
It's been a busy year here in the Crossroads. We've seen big changes. We've seen tragedies. We've heard some sad stories. And we've seen some major progress in our communities. I'm Trenton Whiting, here to share with you the story of the Crossroads in 2025, told through the lens of this year's top stories, starting off with some honorable mentions. Victoria voters approved a collective bargaining agreement and civil service board for the city's firefighters. Animal Services had tough conversations with the public about the stray situation and saw the departure of Director Mark Sloat. A brief Telfiner manhunt and a murder case leads to a man wanted for murder in California. And a police chase turns deadly when 2 were killed near Hanselman Road. Now to this year's top stories. The state of Victoria's water supply was a big topic this year, as city officials worked to get through 2 boil water notices in the summer. Those 2 notices came nearly a month apart, the first on July 9th and the second on August 6th, as certain areas of the water supply failed to reach chlorine standards. Victoria wasn't alone. At least 5 cities issued boil water notices this year, with Seadrift even declaring a state of disaster. Victoria officials have said they're committed to preventing future incidents and improving the water supply. Same mascot, same colors, different system. The school formerly known as UHV is now Texas A&M Victoria. A&M leaders committed to providing degree plans relevant to Crossroads industries, including a new aviation program. Residents, officials, and students all expressed excitement at the new era of Victoria education. At Victoria's Riverside Park, you can get a great view of the Guadalupe River, but just down that river in the Texas Hill Country, countless lives were lost in Kerr County to deadly floodwaters. Kerrville was hit the hardest during the Independence Day floods. While over 100 people died, some reports naming 119 people who lost their lives in Kerr County, the Crossroads came out to help, sending donations and volunteers to help them pick up the pieces in the hill country.
Rafael Govea Romero pled guilty to murder and aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, with a life sentence for each count.
That guilty plea finally made a resolution after Lisbeth Medina was murdered by Rafael Romero before an Edna Christmas parade in December 2023. Her mother calling for justice for 2 years until the family got justice in the form of a life sentence for Romero.
10 miles to the city of Bloomington, as that Victoria County community saw some big changes on Election Day this year.
No longer an unincorporated community, Bloomington is now a city of Victoria County. They've got a mayor, council, and a new sales tax. As interim news director Shauna Curry dove into, a lot has gone into this incorporation. Bloomington had to clear some hurdles to get to this point, but now they're ready to build. This has been Trenton Whiting with 25's Top 5 Stories in 2025.
Still to come on Sunrise News to know before you go. Federal health officials released troubling data about a nationwide issue. New data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows the number of flu cases is rising across the country. The CDC says there have been roughly 7.5 million cases, 81,000 hospitalizations, and 3,100 deaths related to influenza. Experts predict those figures will likely rise significantly in the next few weeks. Former President John F. Kennedy's granddaughter Tatiana Schlossberg died Tuesday after a battle with cancer. Schlossberg's death comes a month after she announced a terminal leukemia diagnosis in an essay in The New Yorker. She said doctors found the cancer just after she gave birth to her daughter in May 2024. Schlossberg was just 35. Internal Justice Department files suggest top government leaders worked with federal prosecutors in Nashville to prosecute Kilmar Abrego Garcia after he fought his wrongful deportation to El Salvador. That's according to a newly unsealed ruling from a federal judge in the case. The December 3rd opinion became public Tuesday. A major hearing over Abrego Garcia's effort to get the pair of charges dismissed is set for late January. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And let's get an update from Parker on how long these freezing conditions are going to last.
You know, it is quite chilly out there, Carolina, and I hope y'all are bundling up this morning because, yes, we do have a beautiful sunrise out there this morning, but that is quite misleading. It is freezing behind that sunrise. 32 degrees still out in Victoria County, and the city temperatures are still about 1 degree warmer. You can see that right here, 33 degrees being reported on our 25 News Now ticker. Thermometer right outside the station on Navarro, but we are still freezing, y'all, and actually just for about 5 minutes, we're talking like 10 minutes ago, for 5 minutes long, the temperature broke above 33 degrees for just 5 minutes. But now we're back to 32, maybe 31 or right around the county. But you can see all around the Crossroads, we're looking at temperatures below or near freezing. Some are in the upper 20s, 29 Edna and 27 in Bay City, 29 in Blessing. Woo-wee, that's cold, y'all, so please bundle up. But I think by this afternoon, you're going to be taking that jacket off because today we're looking for a high of 67 today in Port Lavaca, low 60s by noontime. A bit warmer in Victoria, 68 today, also low 60s at noon, and also warmer in Cuero. I'm thinking 69. So y'all stay warm. It's going to be cool one last day before we're warming up all the way into the brand new year.
All right, thank you for joining us. Join Shauna Dawn McClevey and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and Happy New Year's Eve.